just talk to us a little bit and give us, because I think a lot of people out there listen to music that's really harmful and they don't even notice that it's harmful. There's nothing wrong with a pop song here or there, but a lot of the music today is just so far gone. I think it's actually damaging to even just have that in the environment. You know what I mean? So can you talk a little bit about maybe your take on the importance of listening to good music and your take on how chant is an invaluable weapon in spiritual warfare?
Yeah, well, I think the ancients are right when they talk about music has the power to impact and change the nature of the state. And if that's true, then, I mean, we really need to be careful about the kind of stuff we're putting on our radios and headphones, I guess.
Nobody has radios.
Nobody has radios anymore. And so, yeah, so Chants of Deliverance, I'm good friends with the Phoenix exorcist. And one day I was getting coffee with him, and he just mentioned something really interesting. He said, yeah, I always play Gregorian chant when I'm doing an exorcism. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And then he said something even more interesting. He said, some chants are more powerful than others. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I did a little more research. I contacted a few other exorcists, and I got, I guess, an authoritative list of these different chants that exorcists found powerful in the rite of exorcism. One of which is actually the Dies Irae, which is from the Catholic Requiem Mass.
That's one of them?
Yeah. That's
why?
not even
Do you
part
know
of,
why that's part of it, or is it just works?
Yeah, so the Dies Irae, it's a
What does that mean in English, first of all?
Day of Wrath.
Day of Wrath, yeah.
So I guess the demons are fully, experiencing God's wrath. But it's really about judgment, the last judgment, and warning us about it. And so the Dies Irae is one of those chants. There's a few others. There's psalms from the actual rite of exorcism. There's the Salve Regina, which we all know. And yeah, so I mean, the point is, like, here are chants that demons have found to be particularly annoying. Yeah. So why not play them in your home, and why not play them, wherever you are, to help free your mind of, potential influences.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that they swapped out pop music that they're just listening to in their kitchen while they're cooking with chant or even neutral music, and it just makes a huge, huge difference. But there's something about just walking into a room and hearing those beautiful, intentional harmonies in a language that you don't understand. You just walk in and it just fills you with peace. And I think that, yeah, people are substituting noise and distraction for peace. And
yeah. I mean, that brings a whole discussion, like, what is chant, and why is it unique amongst the genres of music? Yeah. Most of our culture has settled for music with a meter, which I don't know if there's any musicians out there, but if you have a meter, it's like 3/4 or 4/4. So almost every pop song has like a very strong beat to it that's consistent throughout. And chant doesn't have a beat, and nor does it have a meter, and so the rhythms are free and unbounded by this, like, fixed, 1 2 1 2 1 2, or like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So there's a real beauty in that. I think it's really elevating to hear, and it's kind of it's a little more difficult to listen to too.
Yeah.
You might say it's easy listening, but there's more intellect involved in the music. So those are all things that come into play, and we notice that difference just instinctually when we hear it.
Yeah, you can't tap your toe to Gregorian chant.
You cannot tap your
Not if it's well done. Is the point of that, I heard this said once, but the point of chant not having a meter is that it's intentionally supposed to elevate us out of our experience of time to a certain degree. So there's not a time signature, that 1 2 3 4.
Absolutely. Yes. I think, yeah. Yes. Of course. Yeah, the fact that there's not these different things. The language is not typically in the vernacular. No. It's an ancient language. All those things are meant to lift us to this transcendent realm.
Yeah. So I don't know the answer to this question, but Have you ever chanted during a real exorcism? In person?
I don't think I would.
You don't think you would?
I'm like too scared.
Really? I don't know. You got St. Florian on your side. What's the worst that could happen?
I guess. We worked with the Exorcist Files. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Oh, yeah.
Heard that podcast.
Yeah, I love
shout
those
out
guys.
to Ryan, my bud. So one of their new episodes, one of the guys who was helping doing, I guess there's holders in exorcism, like they hold the demoniac down, and this guy didn't confess his sins apparently before going in, and so the demon was not only mentioning his sin, but mentioning really just like unique factors in the sin that he completely knew what this demon was saying. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to. I like my safe zone.
If anyone doesn't believe that the Catholic Church is true, they should listen to the Exorcist Files. I found them incredibly compelling. Wow, wasn't that great? If you enjoyed that clip and you want to help support me in making more just like it, then check out the link in the description and support me on Buy Me a Coffee.